there, YouTube. I'm back again today for another game review. Today, I'm very excited to check out Sakura from Osprey Games. This is for 2 to 6 players, take about 20 to 40 minutes to play, and it's for ages 10 plus. And in Sakura, you're playing as painters in the water lily season, and the Emperor's looking at water lilies or something, and you want to get close to the Emperor so you can paint him, but you don't want to get too close because he's a jerk and he will shove you backwards and steal your money or something. I'm not quite sure. It's a Reiner Nitsuya game, which means you know there's no theme going on in this bad boy, but do the gameplay and the mechanics, the mechanisms, make up for it. Let's open it up and I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what should again set of Sakura. So first and foremost, we have our handy dandy rule booklet. It's one kind of long page, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, examples. It's very well done. It should have you up and running in no time at all, so big thumbs up on the rule booklet. So in Sakura, you're in Japan or Asia or somewhere, and this is like a big king dude, and he's looking at flower lilies or some garbage like that, and you're taking pictures of him or painting. Really, the best way to explain this game is just to make it like paparazzi. This is celebrity, this is the paparazzi. He's going from club to club to club to club to club, and you're trying to get close to him so you can get pictures, but you don't want to get too close or else you will lose. You'll lose some of these tokens right here. And in the end, you're trying to have the most tokens by the time this dude gets all the way to there. What am I talking about? Let's go over the components. Let's get into the gameplay. So first and foremost, we have our game board right here, which does not actually lay all the way flat, which is kind of annoying, but says something that I did want to mention. Next, you're going to have these pieces. So first you have the big dude right here. He's who you are following, who you're stalking. Next, you're going to have these guys who are the painters, or paparazzi, if you like my theme a little bit better, who are trying to stay behind the guy, but still stay really close, because he is going to stop at these 3 spots right here, and how close you are will get you points. So if you're the closest person to him, you'll get 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, so on and so forth. Next, you're going to have cards. The cards are really the star of the show. And I do want to mention the cards feel weird. They're kind of hard to unstick. Look at this. Look at this. I'm trying to unstick these cards. There's 2 cards here. Yeah, but I couldn't unstick them. Like they got this weird back, which makes them a little bit difficult to shuffle, and a little bit difficult to handle. But the cards are going to have various different symbols on here and some numbers on the bottom left-hand corner. The bottom left-hand corner will tell you when you're going to go. You go from lowest to highest on taking your actions. And in the upper left-hand corner, you are going to have a garden action, and you are going to have a painter action, and I will go over more of those a little bit later. Next, each player is going to start with 5 of your tokens. These are dollars, these are paintbrushes. I don't know what these are. The theme of this game really doesn't come across that well, but you're trying to have the most of these at the end of the game. You start off with 5, but if you get too close to this dude right here, you will lose some of yours, which is bad. So you want to get close, but not too close. At the end of the game, each player is going to start with 5 cards, and I do want to mention that it goes up to 6 players, so you could have up to 6 people on here. The only real difference is it changes how these spaces on the bridge work, where normally they're just 1 space, but when you have more players, there are more spaces. So let's take a look at how the game is played. Everybody's going to have 5 cards, and on your turn, you're going to play down 1 card secretly. So let's just say this is what happened. Everybody played down a card. Let's see what happens. So we reveal them. Man, 2 of those cards stuck together. We got a 20, we have a 47, and we have a 3. So the 3 would go first, and we'll just pretend that the green played the 3. So their action is -1, and the action on the top is how you're going to move the Emperor. So they're going to move the Emperor back 1 space, because as I mentioned, why would you ever want to move the Emperor back 1 space? Because it drags out the game. But if you ever run into the Emperor, or if you ever make the Emperor run into someone else, it is super duper bad for them. They have to go back 3 spaces, and they lose some of their valuable tokens. Next, we have this little symbol right here. There's only 2 major symbols you're going to see throughout the game. You'll have this symbol and this symbol. The first symbol means place your painter on the first empty space in front of the next painter ahead of you. That would be a terrible time to play this. We did it randomly, which I guess would just mean that the red guy would go, or the green guy would go right here. Normally it'd be good, but not in this particular instance. Next, we're going to do the number 20, and that's us, so that's red, and we can move either the Emperor +1 or -1. And in this particular instance, you know what? We're going to go ahead and we're going to move him. We're going to move him -1. You know, yeah, we're going to move him We're going to move him +1 because we don't want him running into us. And then we have the other symbol, coincidentally. Count the number of painters between you and the Emperor, and then move that many spaces forward. So right now, we're on the same space, which this is the only spot on the board where you can share the same space as another painter. So that would mean there's one painter in front of us. We would go forward 1 space. But since, as I mentioned, you can't share the same space as someone else, we get to jump over them, and boom, now we are on the bridge. Last but not least, we have the 47 right here. They have +1, negative or +1 for both the Emperor and for themselves. So you know what? They're going to go ahead and move the Emperor forward 1, and then they're going to move forward 1. But since there's somebody here and somebody here, they get to jump right there. Pretty simple stuff. That's what you're going to do on a typical round. Everybody's going to draw back up to 5 cards, and you're going to rinse, wash, and repeat. So let's just say that these cards were played. This is actually a pretty decent example. So first thing you're going to do is, we have another one of our special symbols up here, which we'll get to on the 50 spot. So we'll actually do that one last. So first we have our 16, which means +2 to the Emperor. So boom, boom, he goes forward 2. And we have this symbol right here, which means you move your painter +2. So blue would get to go forward 1, 2 spaces. Next we have the 23. He'll go ahead and move the Emperor +1 as well, and then he gets to go forward +1, so red would go forward. And then red has this interesting one right here, which is move the painter furthest from the Emperor forward 2 spaces. Now, red or green actually planned that out really well because they are the furthest for the Emperor, so they're going to move forward 2 spaces, and they're going to move forward 3 spaces, so they're going to move forward 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and right now they're really close to the Emperor, which is good, but they're also in the danger zone. Danger zone! Because, as we mentioned, you can have + or -1 cards. Anywho, eventually what will happen is someone will get to right here. At this point, you're going to score points. So the green would score 3 water lily points at this instance, and the blue would score 2 points, and the red would score 1 point, because as you can see, it's right there. Then you guys kind of lump together, and you do it 2 more times until they get to here, at which point the person who's in first will get 4 points, 2 points, 1 point. At the end of the game, you're going to tally up whoever has the most of the water lilies, and whoever has the most water lilies will be the winner of the game. And that, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. Alrighty then, Sakura from Osprey Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. First and foremost, this is a Reiner Knizia game, which means the theme is completely non-existent. It looks nice, I suppose, if you're into the sort of artwork and whatnot, but you're playing as painters, and you got to get close, but if you get too close, he's going to rob you and shove you. I don't know. Whatever. Also, player count 2 to 6 is a nice player count, but I didn't like it at the higher player counts because there's really a lot less planning you can do because you lay down a card and then you're like, well, unless it's a 1 or a 60 or whatever, I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I'm not sure where I will be. I'm not sure where the Emperor will be. I'm not sure when my card is going to get triggered because you have no idea what other cards people have in their hands, and I just did not like it at the higher player counts. But then again, I didn't really like it that much at the lower player counts either. But I'll talk more about that a little bit later. Also, the game was just boring. I mean, that's the biggest thing. It wasn't fun. I brought it into my classroom. I played it with a couple of 11-year-olds, and they were like, eh. And I was like, eh. And then I brought it to my game night. I was like, all right, let's see if this goes over better with adults. You know, a little bit more strategy and whatnot. And they were like, meh. And I was like, meh. And I didn't particularly like it at any of the player counts. I played it 3 times. I played it at 2 players, 3 players, and 5 players. Didn't like it at any of those player counts. I can tell it's an okay game. I mean, it's not a bad game. It's just a boring game. You do stuff, and then you move stuff, and then you do stuff, and you move stuff, and you do stuff, and you move stuff, and you do stuff, and you move stuff, and then, oh, we score some stuff, then we do stuff, and move stuff, and do stuff, and move stuff, and do stuff, and move stuff, and score some stuff, and then we do it again. And that, I was just bored by this game. Any other cons? Oh, component-wise, these cards. What is the deal with these cards? They're so hard to separate and shuffle, and I just did not like the cards. I feel like they're nicely done cards, but it's just they don't want to unstick from each. Look at this. This is all my strength, all my power to separate those cards. I'm not even exaggerating there. That was real. That was real. Do it again. Get these 2 cards. These 2 cards. Look at these fingers. Look how yes. That's not how cards should feel. Moving on to the pros, it's not a bad game. I just thought it was boring. And it was okay. I think if this were one of the first games I played when I got into the hobby, I think I would have liked this game a lot more. Maybe? I don't know. The more I think about this game, the more I really don't like this game. I think You know what? I don't like this game. There. I was gonna say it's okay, but I don't even think that. I mean, it's just, it feels so phoned in. I have played 10, 20, 30 Reiner Knizia games, and normally I can see the good of the game, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting, this is intriguing, I like this, I like that. And I play this game, and I'm like, I can't find any redeeming qualities with this game whatsoever. It is a solidly put together rule booklet, and why? Why do you keep pumping out crap like this, Reiner? I just don't understand it. Maybe this is an older game. That could be... I wonder if this is a reprint. That would make so much sense, because this feels like the kind of game that might have flourished in 1991. But nowadays, this isn't going to cut it. This game's not going to cut it. Nobody wants to play this. Nobody's going to be revisiting this on a frequent basis. At least I don't think so. Nobody in my game group wanted to. The kids that I played it with weren't interested. And those are the kind of kids that this should be their bread and butter. Like, this is the kind of game where it's simple enough for them to understand and try to outthink and outsmart each other. And they had no desire to play this game again. The adults I played, same thing. And for me, I'm glad I review it, because now I cannot play. I don't have to play it ever again. So in the end, Sakura from Reiner Knizia. Normally, I'm a Reiner fan, but this one, no. I just don't like this game at all. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know. Do you think you could get these cards apart? All right, let's try this. Oh, these ones are actually... Oh, there. Do you think you can get the cards apart? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.